Now I realize there's a special place in hell for anybody that makes a video on Christmas Eve to talk about lawsuits. Yikes. But here I am. This is actually then, for me, it's the night before Christmas. I have a lot that I want to say on the lawsuit situation. And so I might even have enough for like 2 additional videos but beyond this one. But there's a lot. And so I want to get through some more of it, what's going on. First, before anything else goes on here, I've got the Charlie Snowgan's family cancer relief. We're getting very close to $5,000. Everybody that donated, I really appreciate you. This is, I think, helps out more than you realize. It really is an awesome thing to do. So thank you so much. Every little bit helps. I'd love to see this get even higher, but again, like everything helps, and this will for sure, this is already going to help take the edge off of the situation. So thank you very much, everybody. So that's the one thing you should definitely check this out. I'm going to put the link in the description of this video. Fatal on Indiegogo, if you would like to support me and Charlie on this book, check that out. There we go. We're at 1740 backers. Downcast, this campaign is closing at the end of the year, and that's because this is the new thing. This is going to be through Alterna. These are the $1.99 issues. Check it out right now, alternaaccess.com. Also link in the description. Okay. Whew, I had to get past that business. Here we go. Where did crowdfunded legal funds for Richard Meyer and Mark Waid go? This was on Bleeding Cool. Now, I want to point out one thing first. I've seen a lot of theories circulating. I've seen a lot of angry people, and I think there's some justification for that for sure. I've seen a lot of speculation, and what I'm about to do is just add more to the speculation. But this is from one of you all commented on my last video, and the more I think about this, the more I think this is certainly the case. And just bear with me for a minute. So the Sky is Teal said, I think Meyer dropped it because he might have a problem proving harm now. Now, I'm no lawyer, but I took a law comm class in college, and damages, I don't know if harm or damages is the same thing, but I think it is. But proving not only that the person did something, but that it cost you money. That's how the law works. We already know morally what Mark Waid did was wrong. That's not up for debate. In fact, even some of his closest friends agree with us on that. It was a terrible idea for Mark Waid to interfere. But did it cost your boy Zach money? Were there damages? Was there harm? That's where it gets very difficult. So it continues here. Since he weathered the BS so well, he may have done better with self-publishing than he would have at AP. And I'm going to say that's not even a may. He 100%, no doubt, did way better than he would at Antarctic Press. I don't think at the time he could have possibly known that he would have done better. I don't think that's true. But in hindsight, now that years have passed, it's pretty clear that he has got a very self-sufficient, successful comic publishing company. That's the reality of the fact. So for a moment here, I'm going to do some deep speculation here. If I was in this situation, if I knew, let's pretend that his lawyers were saying, hey man, you're making too much money. You're very successful now. It's really hard for us to demonstrate that there are damages. If you know, and even if your own lawyers are telling you that now there's this one very crucial component, this one crucial hill to overcome, would you keep pursuing the case anyway? If you knew it was unwinnable or it would be difficult because the burden of proof is on you to prove this, not the other stuff, not that there was an interference, but that there were damages. How difficult would that be? What's the right thing to do? Do you keep taking money, additional money from supporters to pursue a lawsuit that you know you cannot win? Or do you just end it and move on? Now, one option could have been don't start a publishing company. And this brings up the second point in what constitutes winning. And I think it's a little bit more complicated than at least for me, than I initially gave it credit for. What constitutes winning? Would it have been better if he would have stopped publishing comics? He could have demonstrated that that was his one and only shot and that he was finished. It was over. He might have won the lawsuit in that case because he could probably have proved damages. But does that mean that he won? I mean, do you lose at life in order to win a lawsuit? Again, these are difficult questions. And you're free to disagree with me. Again, I understand people are upset. I'm disappointed. What I'm saying is I'm not necessarily surprised because so many cases end up this way. All right, so on Bleeding Cool, they're talking about the legal funds, and this is, I think anyway, this is the justification for why we have so many people that are upset because of the money. Lawsuits are expensive. All right, so where did the money go? Yesterday, this is from Bleeding Cool, we learned that the long-running legal case raised against comic book writer/publisher Mark Waid, comic book writer, publisher, and Richard Meyer had been voluntarily dismissed. And I know Mark Zaid was saying it was, what was it? Dismissed without prejudice. Voluntarily dismissed means it was between them, and clearly Richard Meyer was a part of that process. It wouldn't have been dismissed if it wasn't for his decision. All right, so a joint statement declared it was upon consideration of all the circumstances, the parties have jointly decided that it is in the best interest of all concerned and the comic book community at large for this litigation to end. And Mr. Meyer has decided to dismiss the lawsuit voluntarily. Again, this is Richard Meyer decided to dismiss it voluntarily. This is not a judge ordering it to be so. Neither party has admitted any liability or responsibility. This was a joint statement by both parties. These guys are not friends. These two are not friends. They jointly decided upon the statement. And I think that could be part of the reason why the statement is so unsatisfying to so many people. And that is because it's supposed to basically not say much at all other than it's over. The reasons why aren't many. It's COVID and, the fact that he was able to get the book published anyway. Those were the two reasons that they gave. Neither party has admitted any responsibility. So here's the thing, though. In all of this, neither party can admit responsibility and no party can admit that they won. That's at least between Richard and Mark Waid. But in my case, I have signed no such agreement. I'm going to declare victory. I don't care what the blue hairs say on Twitter. Now, what do you mean victory? Again, what measuring stick are you using? Do you need a judge to say that Mark Waid is a terrible person? Or does it mean that he lost when he's not writing mainstream comics? Who talks about him? What books are coming out? He did the Humanity First thing, which, what happened with that? Where has it gone? Where is his career in compared to Richard Meyer's career? 9 books later, publications later? Who won? Does a judge have to say it to make it so? On another point, guys, I'm getting published by Alterna Comics. I have very little to do with this, but I can tell you for a fact that there was a chilling effect when Mark Waid was out causing problems. There's a chilling effect on publishers. I can tell you now, he does not have power. Full disclosure, did you know I've had 3 different publishers reach out to me about publishing stuff? 3 different publishers. I've only ever accepted, to be fair, Alterna, I actually reached out to Alterna. He didn't initiate it. I did. But I had 2 others initiate with me. 2 other publishers, which I turned down because I don't care. It didn't make sense. But is there a chilling effect? Does the same stigma exist? I have to believe that there are other, if I'm getting publishing offers, I have to believe that others are getting publishing offers out there. You might not be taking them. They might not be a good deal, but they're still publishing offers. So has the world gotten better? Are publishers afraid? Is the chilling effect lasting? I don't think so. I think the chilling effect here now is don't get into other people's publishing business. I don't think anyone wants to be in Mark Waid's shoes. So who won? Let's see. The case had been slowly moving through the courts, firstly looking at jurisdictional issues, judges' recommendations, but the current pandemic has reduced this and many similar cases to a crawl. Gosh, it was crawling way before the pandemic, let's be honest. All right, despite the official statement stating, and you know what, there might be something to, I'm going to step back for a minute. The fact that they mentioned COVID in this joint statement could mean that their lawyers, it made things difficult for their lawyers, it made things difficult for judges and for things to proceed. That is absolutely a possibility depending on laws and legal restriction, all sorts of things. That could be a factor more so than I think, well, at least I've given it credit for. I kind of wanted to laugh at it first, but maybe that really is a concern. It might not be either parties. It could be the justice system's problem. All right, despite the official statement stating, there's got to be a better way to say that. The official statement stating that neither party could claim to have achieved any victory, except me. I'm claiming victory, guys. The reaction from supporters of each didn't choose that distinction. While Mark Waid supporters are generally happy with the result, yeah, that's a generalization, and many of Richard Meyer's supporters were vocally upset at this decision, asking where their money had gone and if they would receive refunds as the case was no longer going forward as promised. People get upset, that's for sure. But actually, looking at my comments, I saw a lot of people, I don't think my opinion is that far out there, actually. I think a lot of people are like, it happens. So what do? You move forward. Again, I want you to amend this, Rich Johnston. I am declaring victory. I think all the scoreboards that actually matter say that Mark Waid lost this exchange. He has come out of this a couple years later so much worse off than when he entered it. Prove me wrong. Seriously. Let's see. As part of the lawsuit, significant sums were raised by both sides. Mark Waid raised over $84,000 on GoFundMe, and here are some of the notable names of people that supported Mark Waid. I've got to point out too that I think a lot of these people supported Mark Waid because they've known Mark Waid, and they just heard that he needed help. When I initially heard about this, it was Jim Zub. I don't even know if his name's on this list. It was Jim Zub who tweeted something about it, and that tweet got sent to my email, and I checked it. So, excuse me, the hiccups. I checked it. I didn't know what else there was. I just knew, wait, Mark Waid? He's being sued? And when it's framed like he's a victim, you think, oh, that's too bad. Now, it didn't take very much effort to look into it and find out that it was the whole thing, the way that they were framing it was a lie. Anyway, on the other side, Ethan Van Sciver ran a GoFundMe raising a campaign for Richard Meyer's legal bid, which was paused a couple months ago, raising almost $150,000, twice as much as Waid. And then he also mentions some names. Why is my name not on there? Just easy. All right, so another Patreon set up for legal fees. So we had more, about 18,000. I may have had some other funds too. I would not be surprised if he spent his own money out of pocket, also for legal expenses. I mean, it happens. All right, so, and what's going to be done with the rest, he's going to donate it to charity, which realistically, what do you do? GoFundMe's, I mean, you are just donating money. That's what they're for. Anyway, so there it goes. Here's the thing. Victory is for anybody that wants it to be a victory. I don't care what a judge says. I care that I have a place in comics, that I'm allowed to make comics, and that nobody has the right to interfere with me making comics. If I can do that, and I can do that and not have to be ashamed or hide my actual feelings and opinions and my own politics, then I'm happy that I'm good. I think everyone should be able to have that right. I think the world is definitely a different place than it was when this initially went down. Mark Waid was wrong. None of this changes that. All it means is that those two parties involved can't say so. But for me personally, looking at the trajectory of both of their careers, I don't think Mark Waid came out ahead here. Not at all. I think that there were deep repercussions from this too, from his own publishing contracts. I think it's made him unhireable at some publishers. I think some editors will never put him on books because of what he did here, among other things. But I think that this did more damage, much more damage to Mark Waid than it did to Richard Meyer. That's my opinion. So let me know what you think. I would love to know. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Again, I think I have more to say on this matter, but what does winning mean? What to you is the best outcome? And honestly, where do you go from here? Despite what the ideal is, where do you go from here? So appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget, if nothing else, do check out the Snogans Family Cancer Relief. It's difficult to be a freelance creator. Medical bills are always the factor. So if you don't mind helping out, I know I really appreciate it. And I know that the Snogans really have, graciously and humbly appreciate it. So thank you very much. And I'll see you next time.